Next on Worcester News tonight, Worcester is a baseball city, the rich history which helped in the effort to lure the Paw Sox here. Plus, another professional team announces they're coming to Worcester. Supporters say it will help grow the sport. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Bottary. Excitement continues to run through the streets of Worcester just days after the city announces the Paw Sox are coming. The team announcing last week they're leaving Pawtucket after more than 40 years in the town. And for one local baseball historian, he never thought he'd see the Boston's AAA affiliate in downtown Worcester. Our Cam Jandro joins us now live with more. Cam?
Hannah, Worcester's baseball history actually helped them get the team. Babe Ruth spent some time in the Vernon Hill area, and Ted Williams hit his first Red Sox home run at Fitton Field. Now, local baseball historian Brian Goslow says you can add the Paw Sox coming to Worcester onto that list.
I never thought, we would get the Red Sox away from Pawtucket.
Still in disbelief days later, Brian Goslow is outfitted in Worcester Red Sox gear. The baseball historian says having a team with current and future Red Sox players will fill seats in 2021.
Imagine we could have Mookie Betts, playing in Worcester for 2 or 3 games if he, has to rehab or something like that. And that's the kind of thing that, people bring their kids for.
Goslow says Worcester has a rich baseball history, including being the home of the National League's Worcester Worcesters in the late 19th century. Monday, he visited the statue marking the first ever perfect game on what is now the campus of Becker College. It was thrown in Worcester in June of 1880 on what was once the agricultural fairgrounds. Becker's president, Nancy Crimmen, says they're excited to see more baseball history made in the city.
I think it shows that Worcester has a great history with baseball, and it's just going to get even better with the new stadium and the Woo Sox coming to town.
The school posting this photo, writing "Baseball past meets baseball future. Welcome to the tradition, Worcester Red Sox."
I think the stadium and the team is just another real positive aspects of Worcester's revival and what's been happening in the city, which of course benefits all of us in the colleges.
The monument is less than 2 miles away from what is now a parking lot and soon Polar Park. For a lifelong Worcester resident, Goslow, he's living a dream.
A friend wrote me and said, "So what do you think?" And I go, "What do you mean what I think? It really is this, 2 things I wanted, a really loving wife and the Red Sox, and I've got both."
Now, the Worcester City Council will receive all of the details on the Paw Sox deal at tomorrow's City Council meeting. They're expected to mull over it for about a month or so before then taking a final vote. Anna?
Thanks, Cam. Days after the Paw Sox announced they're coming to Worcester's Canal District, one business is trying to keep up with the demand of baseball fans. They've been creating merchandise for the city's new team. Our Brittany Schaefer has the details.
4 hats? Okay, so it's going to be 60.
The excitement from the Paw Sox move can be felt in Girton graphics as Worcester Red Sox merchandise flies off the shelves.
This is support wear for the team. We just jumped on the bandwagon and started making shirts and hats.
Owner John Girton says they started selling the shirts and hats Monday and are working long hours to meet the demand.
Going to have stuff after like 3 o'clock or so.
Father and son Bob and Matt Epstein picked up the last 2 hats and a few shirts.
Found a couple shirts in our size, and we got actually a couple of hats over there.
We sent this down with an order, and then my wife called a friend, and so we ordered a bunch of things. We'd be happy.
We didn't expect it to be this busy.
We definitely wanted to get one for our son, who's going off to college, so he'll be able to take a little bit of Worcester with him. And we were lucky to get the last Woo Sox shirt.
The longtime Worcester residents say they can't wait to see a game.
This is a dream come true, especially for me, being, growing up in Worcester. I've been here my whole life.
Never thought it would ever happen, but I think it's the best thing that's ever happened to Worcester.
But until opening day in April of 2021, Girton says the store will be hard at work making Worcester look good.
It's the greatest thing. The Woo Sox Stadium is going to be 100 yards from my back door here. So my whole shop, all my employees here are excited. It's great for business. But we're just grabbing logos, making them, and printing them as fast as we can.
Girton says once the official logos for the team are released, they will start making clothing with those designs. Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
There are some in Worcester who have concerns about the plan to revamp Kelly Square for the new minor league ballpark.
The right field wall will be right past the hydrant there, which frankly is a little close.
According to the plans, the stadium would be just feet away from Alan Fletcher's home. He says when he first moved to Ash Street, it was a quiet neighborhood, but today it's much different. The stadium will only increase traffic. Fletcher says he's excited for Worcester, but he questions some of the plans unveiled in the Canal District redevelopment, including fixing Kelly Square. Fletcher says he thinks the intersection works well the way it is.
I think nobody's more affected than I am because I live right here behind the right field wall, and I'm doing a development down there right on Kelly Square. And I promised the city manager that I wouldn't be too negative, but I'm a staunch defender of Kelly Square. I think it's miraculous. I think it works wonderfully well, and people don't appreciate how well it works. I understand they're determined to fix it, but people have tried to fix it over the course of 50 years and failed.
Fletcher says he wants a seat at the table while the next steps are being discussed so he can look out for the well-being of his neighborhood. On the heels of Friday's big announcement, we're learning another sports franchise is coming to Worcester. A professional women's hockey team is set to hit the ice in just a few months, and the excitement is starting to grow.
Back to the point, shot in front, tip, scores!
The Canadian Women's Hockey League announces Monday the Boston Blades are coming to Worcester for the 2018-2019 season. When searching for locations, General Manager Derek Alfama says Central Massachusetts made the most sense.
The passion of the fans here, number one. Number two, the central location between Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and in Massachusetts to attract professional women's hockey players.
The Blades first came to Boston in 2010 and were the first professional women's hockey team to play in the state.
They won 2 championships in 2013 and 2015.
Alfama, an Uxbridge native and St. John's High School alum, says the now Worcester Blades will compete against 5 other teams, including one in China. He says the charge of the CWHL is to inspire young girls in the sport.
To know that not only can they play at a high level in college, but after they graduate, they can go on and play professional hockey.
The Blades will play at the Fidelity Bank Worcester Ice Rink, the rink where the Worcester Railers also practice. Railers president Mike Myers says it's an exciting time for team announcements in the Canal District.
From a Railer standpoint, we're extremely excited. It helps grow the game, especially on the girls' side. So it's something we're excited about, going into next season.
The team will be on the ice together for their first game mid-October. The city is responding to more findings of West Nile virus in mosquitoes. Tuesday night, the Central Massachusetts Mosquito Control Project will spray 2 areas of concern in the city after sunset up until midnight. Residents are reminded to stay indoors during the application and to close street-facing windows. The city also recommends keeping inside between those hours of sunset and midnight. The risk level remains at moderate. No humans have tested positive for the virus. A family in Worcester is mourning the loss of their 4-year-old son who was hit and killed by a car. The young boy was riding his bike in Plumley Village Sunday afternoon. Our Chandler Walsh spoke with his parents and has the story.
It was like the life of the party, He was a really happy kid.
The parents of Josiah Rivera struggling to cope with the death of their 4-year-old son.
The worst thing that ever happened to me.
The boy was hit by a car while riding his bike Sunday afternoon in a Plumley Village parking lot. Worcester police say he left the sidewalk and entered the parking lot when a car pulling out of a spot hit him.
What happened yesterday was a tragedy, because we love him so much, and we would never, ever, ever, ever want something like this to happen to nobody.
Rivera's mother, Reina Sanchez, says the driver is a family friend. He drove Rivera and his father to the hospital.
They didn't mean to do it, and it sucks, because I know he's destroyed too.
Josiah's parents say he loved dancing, sharing with others, and cheering people up. They say he was a normal, positive 4-year-old boy.
He was just so happy and always told us every single night, "Good night, Mommy, good night, Daddy, I love you guys."
Sanchez and Julio Rivera have another son who's 2 years old. They say they are heartbroken and are leaning on one another to get through.
It kills me inside, and I try to stay strong for my wife and my other son, but it just hurts so much.
He used to sleep with me, and it hurts a lot not to be able to sleep with him.
Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
Sunday's fatal accident is bringing the Plumley Village community together, seeking change. Community member Carlos Montanez is spearheading a petition to help speed bumps installed in every Plumley Village parking lot. Montanez says they're hoping to prevent accidents like this from happening again. He's hoping to make the area safer since many children play together outside.
Our goal is just to maybe create awareness, get some speed bumps where people are driving safer. They have no choice to drive safer. You know, I got 3 kids of myself, and I couldn't imagine going through this pain with one of my kids getting taken or getting hit by a car.
Montanez is going door to door and aims to have every community member's signature before bringing the petition to management. Worcester police on scene of Suffolk Street Monday morning for reports of shots fired. Neighbors say they heard several shots fired early Monday morning. Police say at this time it doesn't appear anyone was injured, but there is damage to the home. The incident is under investigation. The 2 people police say dragged a state trooper in Webster faced a judge Monday. 27-year-old Corey Peterson was stopped by the trooper around noon Friday. Police say Peterson took off while the trooper was outside the car, dragging him and leaving him with non-life-threatening injuries. Peterson is now charged with assault with intent to murder, and his passenger is facing a prior charge of violating probation.